Hello everyone, we're back again with another Rainbow Loom tutorial and another Rainbow Loom tutorial since our Rainbow Loom surprise package video that is not 7, 8, or 9 pin bars wide. But I just thought before we get all into that and get all crazy about that stuff that I'd get some of these done. So today we'll be making the caged Inferno bracelet that you see here. It's original design, reversible, but there is obviously a signature side because this side looks like this. So yeah, not as nice as this side, which has the technique by Deb's thing here and here, which I love so much. And it's 6 pin bars. You'll need 7 colors or less, but at least 7. If you want to add bling to the bracelet on this side, you will add it while we place bands. If you want to add bling to this side, you will add the bling while we loop. So, with that said, and without rambling on and on any further, let's get started. You want to have your bar pins, all 6 of them, in a straight line. And you're going to take first the color that you want for here, these bands in the middle of these 2 singles, so the chartreuse I used here, and the bands, these dark green in the middle, not the single chains, but these straight bands. And you're going to get the ones you want for here. And I'll be using opaque black. And starting right here, you will place a band. And then go up, place one on these 2 again. And then place on these 2. I don't know if you can guys really see, but just placing them up like that. And you're going to do this up until you get to right here. So you're going to not lay any on these last 2. And then you're just going to go back down and do the same exact thing on this side. Just laying those bands up until you get to that point that we stopped on, but on this side. And then, once you get back to here on this side, I'm going to go back down to the bottom and get this color, which is the dark green bands here. I'll be using metallic gold. And you are going to start here and do the same thing that you did with the blacks, just on these 2 middle pin bars. And you're going to go all the way up and stop at the same line that you stopped with the black ones. So up to here in this same line when you stop the blacks. And then you go back down to the bottom, and we are going to place our border. So we'll get our border color, and I'm using opaque white. So you're going to get your first one and put it on these 2. And then you're going to go out and find the edge on each side. And then on each side, you're going to go all the way up to the end of the bar pins. So your loom should now look like this, going out and going up in the border, and then stopping up at this tip here on both sides. And now we're going to go in 1 from each side, and then go in 1 more. each. So actually, never mind those bands. You will wait with them for another spot. Now we're going to go back down to the bottom of the loom and place the color that we want for this neon green here, this single chain here, this one. And today I'll be using opaque gray. So I'll just get some bands. And I'm going to start, and I'm just going to start from this peg here. And I'm going to place bands up in the placement for a single chain, because that's really all there is at that part. It's just a chain. And you're going to do this all the way up your loom on both sides. You are going to go all the way up to the top of the barb pin. And now we're going to go back down to the bottom of our loom. And we're going to lay the bands that you want for these sides of the inside here. So these metallic greens you see here. And we're going to do like the same thing we did with the border and these. So we're just going to get some, and I'll be using gray again. And we're going to place the single chains on these barb pin and on this one too, and we're going to go all the way up to the top of both barb pins. So you're going to go all the way up to the top here and stop. As I am an officially a sane individual, and I did add bling while I was placing, so what I said in the beginning about when to add the bling was not a result of being totally insane. My last doctor test, I was still officially a sane individual, so it's really true what you need to do with the bling. So anyway, now we're going to turn the loom around, and we're not going to add a cap band yet, but what we are going to do is I'm going to start with these inside bands. So I'm going to go into one of these two pin bars, this peg. I'm going to grab the bottom band that's there, this one. I'm going to pull it over. Then I'm going to go into this peg and go in between and find the bottom band, which should also be the gold you just pulled over, and I'm going to pull that side back to this peg. So this one went to here and this one went to here. So it looks like this. Now, it doesn't really matter which side you start on, but I like to go the same side each time. So you're going to loop that over. Then you're going to go into these, get this one, which is the same band, but you're going to loop it. You're going to do this for all the gold bands. And then you're going to do the same thing with these black bands, and these two singles are the two singles here. So now your loom should look like this, and you can just turn it back so it's facing the way when you place bands. And you can push down your bands. And now we are going to place even more straight bands going up like this. So these will be the bands that you want to use for these bands. I use the olive green. And today I'll be using metallic silver. And you're just going to place your bands up on these two pins in a straight line all the way up to the top of the pin bars. You're going to do it here too, and we're skipping these first bottom ones, so I'm going to leave you to it because you guys should be pretty familiar with this step by now. And you're actually not going to go all the way up to this top here. These top two, you're just going to go up to here. And now we are going to get our last color, and I'm going to be using metallic gold again. And you're going to, on these two pin bars and these two, the center four, you're going to lay X's. On this one, you're going to lay them all the same way. Doesn't really matter which way, whichever you prefer. And on the other one, the other row, you're going to lay them separate. The opposite way that you did this one. So this one was under, now it's above. And you're also in this row going to do them the same way. So they're opposite to all the X's on the other side. And you're doing this all the way up to the top of the pin bars. And by the way, the color you're doing for these X's is the color that you want to use for the lime green in there. So as you can see, I've gone all the way up to the top here. I'm just going to adjust my camera. Alright, now we can turn the loom around. Well, yes, and we are going to get some border bands and place them, and we're going to